focusing on attachment styles in a while, and I know that I have thousands of new viewers every week. So I know that a lot of you guys tend to focus on the newer content and the videos that are coming out. So I decided, you know what, let me talk a little bit about attachment styles. And recently, it seems like the avoidant attachment style has been coming a lot in my Skypes and my email coachings. So I thought, well, let me help give a little insight and education as to what an avoidant attachment style is. And if you're really new to my channel, you may have not even heard of an attachment style yet. Well, in our early life, in the first really 2 to 3 years of our life, we formed what's called an attachment style. So we bond with our caregivers, whoever our parents may be, and we either form a secure attachment with them where we feel safe with them, where we feel unconditional love, where they're present with us, where they're attentive to us, and most of our needs are met, or we have an insecure attachment to them, where maybe our parents have a mental health issue, or they work all the time, or they are sick, or there could be a lot of different reasons to why a parent is unable to give you the attention and meet the needs that you have. Because quite honestly, having an infant is a lot of work, and maybe it was a single parent home, or maybe your grandparents raised you and your parents. There's a lot of different reasons. The point is not to place blame. And when I sit here and talk about your parents doing or not doing the things that are causing you to have your attachment style, I'm not blaming them, okay? I'm sure they did the best that they could, and I hope that they did the best that they could. So it's not about blame, it's about educating. And when you can learn these things and you can become more insightful as to what's going on, you can consciously change your behavior, and you can understand your partners better. And there's a lot of positives that come with learning about this stuff, which is why I'm always trying to teach you guys about it. Or, where I'm explaining mental health, or looking at different types of personality disorders or depression and stuff. All of those things are important. They're extremely important to understanding breakups. Why? Well, because if you don't understand attachment, how can you understand disattaching, breaking up, right? If you don't understand what causes you to attach, or how you attach, or what's going on there, how do you understand this part? And that's why I'm always trying to educate you guys. And so, avoidant attachment style is one of the insecure attachments. Remember I said there's secure and there's insecure. Now, of course, this isn't like you're one or the other. It's definite. It's a continuum. So you could be extremely secure, or you could be extremely insecure, and then there's everything in between. So it's good to understand that. So you might have, now with the insecure, there's two main types. There's preoccupied anxious, and there is avoidant. Now there's something that's called, I can't even think of the third one, disorganized. But I don't talk about it very much because it's extremely rare, and perhaps I will get into a video on that with Margaret in the future. But you have to understand the two main types is preoccupied anxious, and then there is avoidant. The anxious people are always afraid of abandonment, okay? They're always worried that somebody's going to leave them, that their partner is going to walk away or cheat on them or whatever it is. The avoidant people, now they come from a different place, okay? The people that have an avoidant attachment style, they have a very difficult time trusting people, okay? So I have an email today that I'm going to get into, but to start out, what I thought I would do is give a list and discuss a lot of the symptoms you might have if you have an avoidant attachment style. Now, not everybody is going to have every symptom or every behavior, so I know some people will get real nitpicky about this in the comment section. These are general, okay? This is just to help guide you, okay? Not all of them are on here, okay? But this is a good idea. If you have a good understanding of these symptoms here, you'll understand whether you may have an avoidant attachment style or not. And it could be a real shock because a lot of people don't even know that we have attachment styles. But once you understand them, it will change all of your relationships, not your romantic only, but you'll understand your boss better, your friends better, your kids better. Every relationship will change once you can figure out their attachment style and why they are the way they are. It's unbelievable. And it's incredible because not even many clinicians and therapists understand this stuff, that the research is so new. So you're hearing stuff well before many even mental health professionals are, believe it or not. So let's talk about the symptoms of an avoidant attachment style. Well, the main thing that you need to understand is that in their early childhood, they didn't learn to trust people. They didn't learn to trust their caregivers. Now, if you don't learn to trust your caregivers, or that you feel like you can count on your caregivers, it's very, very difficult to trust anybody else. It's your blueprint for this world, and it can change, but it does take work, okay? And it takes a lot of effort and trying to understand what's going on internally so you can change it. So, a lot of you guys are thinking, what is this? I don't understand why this attachment style has anything to do with a breakup and what is going on and how I can reattract my ex. Well, it has a lot to do with what's going on in your breakup and how to reattract your ex. Because, like I said, every situation is different, every breakup is different, and you need to understand not only your attachment style, but your partner's in order to figure out what went wrong in the relationship. So, you gotta understand this. The attachment style that we formed with our caregivers, our parents, whoever they may have been, that tends to be the same attachment style we form with our romantic partners. Doesn't tend to be the same with our friends or our coworkers or other family members. It's like the way we are with our parents is the way we are with our romantic partners. Okay? So that's why it's good to understand this stuff. Alright, so the thing about people that have an avoidant attachment style is they just don't attach well. Okay? They don't trust people, so you can imagine the bond isn't strong. It's hard for them to give anybody a real chance because, like I said, the attachment they form with their parents traumatized them, and so they're afraid of trusting again. Okay? So they are a lot easier. It's a lot easier for them to walk away from a breakup, and they're going to be a lot less likely to do work on themselves because they don't think they have a problem. You see, what they tend to do is they keep their feelings under the rug and they act like they don't exist and they're not even there, okay? They're very uncomfortable with their own feelings. They don't like to think about them. They don't want to feel them. They don't want to talk about them. They don't want to open up. None of that is going to feel comfortable to an avoidant. Why? Because they grew up in an environment where they didn't feel like they could open up to those people. They didn't feel like they could even share those things with their parents because they felt when they would reach out for their caregivers to get attention and love, that their parents weren't interested in them. Their parents would dismiss them. Oh, go play. Oh, fine. Oh, stop crying. You grow up in that kind of home where every time you have a problem, somebody says, oh, don't think about it. Stop worrying about it. What do you think happens? You start to almost dissociate from feelings, and you're just kind of numbing them out at that point because your own parents aren't interested in it. So you're kind of like, I guess there's nothing there, right? It's almost like going against Ellie, okay? So, relationship with somebody that has an avoidant attachment style, they often will disregard your feelings. Why? Well, think they had their feelings disregarded. That's there to do for themselves. So why would they want things and deal with that drama? And that to put it, I don't want to deal with that because they don't want to deal with alone yours. Okay? They can be very busy and cold. They're affectionate. It doesn't good to them because they will, from other people in their childhood, it's very hard for them to feel close to somebody else. And oftentimes they enjoy sex because they enjoy the physical aspect of it and the closeness that they get from that, but they don't lasting emotional connection because that doesn't feel so good. All right, so if you try and share your feelings with somebody that has this attachment style, oftentimes they're going to accuse you of being overly sensitive, and they're not going to be very nice in the way they say it. They go, oh, stop that. You're always crying. You're always upset about it. Oh, you're too sensitive. You're so soft. You're like a girl. A lot of times women will accuse a guy of a woman that has an avoidant attachment style will be like, girl, you always cause drama like a girl. And they're very turned off by that behavior. They tend to sabotage their relationships because oftentimes if they're feeling too close to somebody, they can't tolerate it. That doesn't mean they don't want you in their life, but they also don't know how to communicate and say, you know, I'm feeling a little bit too close to you right now, and I just need some distance, I need some space. So they lash out things, they can complain about you, they can distort reality, making something that you did, that way they can act like it's your fault. Oh, you did this to me again. I can't tolerate you anymore. This is why I can't do this anymore. And then they disappear for a couple of days to be safe. But they're distorting because they really just didn't want to feel close to you in a lot of cases. Okay? They tend and be overly critical. And that could be because them, and we're overly critical to them. They're projecting their beliefs or those things that they heard onto you. They can lie and hide things, want to feel too close or give too much into. And I think they will as well, where they're just not wanting to communicate with you. So there's a lot of different reasons that they break contact with you or sabotage with you different ways because of closeness. Okay? Now, in my experience, I've seen this as well. Somebody that has an avoidant attachment style will often blame you for things that they are doing wrong. Okay? So, the next that would accuse me of being lazy. I'm not lazy at all. I always never get a break. And so she would say, I'm lazy, and I'm like, and then I'm thinking about it, I'm like, that's lazy. You're the one that's laying around all the time. Project onto you. Remember, they're aware and alert and astute to what's going on with them internally. So that's why they kind of blame you for things they're doing. It kind of takes that uncomfortable feeling that they're having about themselves and it distances themselves from what's going on. They can lack empathy and they can appear cold. And a lot of that may be because they didn't get any empathy or support from their parents as children, so they do the same thing to you. They don't want to admit mistakes or take responsibility. They just will blame you. If you try and talk to them about getting help, most of the time getting help, they don't want to talk about their problems with a therapist. They don't think they have any problems. Oh, they'll be fine. They'll be okay. They tend to be very independent. And they can oftentimes be mistaken as secure. Now, this is my own personal opinion, but I think men tend to mistake avoidant men for secure more than men do it for women. And the reason is that avoidant men can tend to look very independent and self-sufficient. It looks good, but they're independent and self-sufficient is not because everything is going great in their life. It's that they don't trust other people, so they're going to be self-reliant and just do it on their own. So I think you ladies need to be real careful when you're looking at somebody that you're interested in romantically, and you might secure attachment for avoidant. And did I say that right? I don't know. You know what I mean, though, right? Okay? So you might think this guy is secure, but he's really avoidant. So you want to take a long, hard look at it. One of the things that if you want to do it real simple, and you can just remember like this, do they trust people? That's one of the first questions that I ask you guys when we talk about your partner in a Skype. Do they trust people? What's going on there? Tell me about that. When we explore that, and if I see that, then I get a better understanding of what's happened, and I can look at the dynamics better. Now, they are smothered easily, and that is just because, like I said, closeness feels awful to them. You have to understand, they're incredibly hurt. They've been hurt for many, many years. They just don't trust people. It's very sad because we all are biologically hardwired to connect and to feel close to people. So you can imagine what these people are going through, where they're constantly wanting to feel close to somebody, but they can't do it for very long, or doing different things to push you away. Difficult situation, and I pray for them because it's not their fault. Okay, you have to understand, not their fault. They grew up in an environment where they didn't get love, affection. They weren't told they were loved or cared about. Maybe they were neglected or abused. Maybe physically or sexually abused. Believe it or not, it happens a lot more than you would want to know or even think about. So understand, these people have been incredibly hurt, and it's not their fault. But at the same time, you also need to be aware of what you're getting into. You might not want to date somebody that has an avoidant attachment style. And you have to understand that with that, you're going to see a lot of symptoms. Like a lot of those symptoms will come up. There's a lot of other symptoms, but how many can I cover in one video, right? I mean, do you really want me to go on? Should I just pull out a scroll with a list of symptoms? Anybody that's avoidant is like, oh, God, man, now nobody's going to want to date me. It does take help. It does take time, and you do need help to work on that. So, hopefully that gave you a much better understanding of what an avoidant attachment style is.
Cool. This your boy H from Ace Corner Talk. Basically, I played the video about avoidant attachment styles because there's somebody that I know that's going through something about him and his girl breaking up. And I felt like, how can I help him? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can I give him a little bit of, a sense of relief? Anything I probably was saying to him wasn't going to work. So I thought maybe I should do some something that could relate to what he was going through. And I came across the video